The Mind and God by God Science. This audiobook should not be sold except permitted by God Science in any of his videos where he is recommending this product. Here is the audiobook in full. The mind has been correctly thought to be like a fertile ground that would give you just what you put in it. But I seem to want to know more about the mind of man. We are all humans, and the mind is the one thing we have in common. If the mind was a fertile ground, then why do we have negativity almost 80% of the day? Note, the mind has made people successful, sad, rich, broke, etc. The mind has led to breakups. The mind has made many people die without having a taste of their true potentials. Now, what should we all do? If in doubt about my suggestions about what the mind of man has caused, then picture it this way. What can we say does lead to breakups, if not the mind? The mind is what leads to actions. The mind is like the planting and processing site, which produces all kinds of things. The mind is something we should look deep into. So many people look down on themselves, and they only do so in their minds or in their thoughts. For no action exists without a corresponding or tagged thought. For a point to exist in mathematics, there has to be an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. So it is with thoughts and actions. The thought is like the x-coordinate and the action is like the y-coordinate. And you will agree with me firmly that the position of a point in graph is dependent upon both the x and y coordinates. So in order for you to go far in life, there has to be some kind of new thoughts which will initiate certain actions. The mind can sometimes act like a disease to man. The mind sometimes seems like a gift and sometimes like something else. If you don't push further to understand the secret nature of the mind, then you are going to struggle with many things. I want to put the mind before all my listeners in a logical way. The mind is regarded to be the brain at work. If the mind is the brain at work, and recent studies shows that consciousness comes from some microtubules in the brain or neurons, we can clearly state that our minds are something more than like a fertile ground, quote unquote. Let's look at it critically. The reason people fall in love madly and blindly is because of the mind. Everything we do and experience is either completely or somehow tagged with or to the mind. Your mind is no longer a playground if you have experienced how bad it can be and how it can deceive you to places you never dreamed of. The mind is yet to be known. The actual nature of the mind will baffle you if you know it. But here is some practices that help the mind function well. We know that being conscious of your thoughts helps the mind function well. We also know that selecting your thoughts also helps it function well. But we always But we don't always have the time to select our thoughts. What if the mind is just like a marketplace filled with different products and you are to choose what you want from the marketplace? The cost of the products represent the action needed to make the thoughts a reality. Life serves us with varieties of products through our thoughts, and you are to select the thoughts which represents the products you want. After selecting, you need action to actually buy the product or thoughts to make it yours. So you should know that almost 80% of your thoughts are actually in a real sense not yours. There are different products which life offers us on a daily basis. So it is time for us all as humans to change how we see our minds. Or do you consciously think all thoughts daily? Nope, you don't. Scientists believe our thoughts come from programs, but you can logically disagree with that because the thoughts you think daily do change. So we can't say they come from programs we got in first 7 years of life. I disagree. Every thought that comes into or through or across your mind is like a product you buy from the market. You will agree with me that going to the market is your choice, and what you buy is also your choice. So it is with your mind. Just like we need land for market to take place or exist, so we need the mind. In a standard market, there are many or different products. Even as there are many products in a market, so there is in the mind. The different thoughts flashing across your mind represent products life continues to offer us. You know that hawking is also a form of retail and also considered as market. For market is a place where goods and services can be exchanged. Trying to explain what exactly I mean could be difficult. Let's use some diagrams to explain. We have a diagram having a square representing physical markets having dots. Each dot represents different products, e.g. toothpaste, books, chairs, soaps, pen, television, etc. Then we have another box representing the mind. In this box we have different dots. Each dot represents different thoughts, e.g. idea of toothpaste, idea of the chair, idea of the book, etc. You can see for the physical market to exist, there has to be the internal market too. This internal market is in every living human being who is conscious, for consciousness is needed for the activation of this idea or explanation. In this internal market exists internal products too, just like we have in the physical market. These internal products cannot be bought with money, but with actions. But the products of the physical market can be bought with money. The internal products represent varieties of thoughts that come to us daily. God influences or uses the mind to offer every man different varieties of possible experience every single day. This is the deadly truth you must know. Life is here to serve you, and you should understand that life will try to market different products or thoughts to you through your own mind. The mind is not just the brain at work. If it was, then why is depression rate keep going up? The reason is this: people unconsciously buy the wrong products but don't realize it, simply because the means of buying from the internal market is quite different from the physical market. When thoughts come into your mind and you stick to it and act, you have bought that thought, and that thought represents a product which could be anger, sadness, depression, hate, failure, being broke, etc. To fully comprehend this truth, you must try to see your thoughts as the products from the internal market. And the reason many people's lives suck is because they are either consciously or unconsciously purchasing the wrong products or thoughts. You should know that this internal exchange takes place in the minds of every man and woman. So, if you don't like the results you're getting, then stop buying the same product or thoughts you hate. Do you go to the physical market and keep buying something you hate and yet keep complaining? The answer is nope. You would be considered as a foolish person for doing that. You should know that a spiritual or internal offer is constantly activated in your mind, and you are either consciously saying yes or no to those offers. Now, how do you become free? You must now begin to see your mind as a marketplace. Constantly say to yourself, my mind is a marketplace where thoughts can be bought. Repeat this over and over to yourself. My mind is a marketplace where thoughts can be bought. So, if you are frustrated and living a life you hate, kindly change the products you are buying from the internal market. Now, what if you are always offered bad products from your internal market? If this is what is going on in you, then try reading books, doing new things. This is because the kind of product you will be offered depends on what life thinks is best for you, but life does not know you. So, life always makes mistake by giving us the wrong set of products. Reading self-empowering books will help improve life's recommendations. Life is just like the algorithm. YouTube algorithm will provide you with different videos it thinks you like, but in the true sense, does the algorithm know you or dwell in you? Nope. So, if you want to go far, then you must carefully or consciously influence the recommendations of products life gives to you, or you carefully select the thoughts you buy. How do you buy a thought or internal product? You do so by acting upon the thought, by accepting it to be true and doing what it says. Many people buy wrong products from the internal market every day, and this is the only reason they keep having this depressed feeling, sadness, etc. Just as the YouTube algorithm will serve you with videos it thinks you like, usually as a result of past videos you have watched and past search results, so will life suggest on a daily basis products it thinks you like. It does this by looking upon your previous or past conscious thoughts or imaginations and actions. This is the reason why you get more wicked if already wicked, because life will keep offering you thoughts of wickedness. And as long as you buy these thoughts or the offered thoughts, you will keep acting in a wicked way. So if you want to stop being angry, frustrated, etc., then you must stop the sets of thoughts you are buying. Constantly say to yourself, my mind is the place for my internal market, and life will keep offering me with different products right from my birth until I die. If you say this to yourself all the time, it will help you better help your mind to stop seeing your mind the way we have all been taught. If we were all taught our minds were the internal market environment, we would have had less quarrelings, fightings, etc. over the decades. Why does our